Well, it's the end of 2014 and time to take a look back at some of the best books of the year. And how do we know that they're the best? That's because Arise News book editor Marva Allen says so. And she's here to tell us about those releases and why they're the top sellers.
I'm telling you, because they're on the New York Times. And as you know, Gary, the New York Times is a preeminent list to land on if you're an author. Since 1931, it's been telling us who are these best writers.
And only because you're telling me so will I believe that.
That's right.
So on that list is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt.
Yes, and it's been on the list for almost a year. It was released last year in October, and people are buying it still because they love it. Everybody probably knows the story by now. In front of the Met, a bomb goes off, terrorism, mother dies, child survives this very horrific life, and we see the up and down of life and how our lives can change in a moment.
Wow.
But people can...
And of course, we started with fiction, so people should know it's not based on
fiction.
Right.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It is fiction, but sometimes, as they say, art mimic life. Mm-hmm. But again, it's a wonderful book. You learn a lot about Dutch paintings and so on. So it is really, really good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
tell us about the author, Donna Tartt. Is this her... part of a string of work?
This is part of a string of work. She's Pulitzer Prize author, and so she is very well heeled in the art and craft of writing, and it's literary work, So she's done a marvelous job with this book. Yeah.
Short answer: through the holiday weekend, good material to be away if you're away on.
Stuck
in the winter.
Pages. Oh yes, especially if you're stuck in the winter.
Okay.
Got about 600 pages to go, but it's going to go fast.
Number two, let's from Celeste Ng. It's Everything I Never Told You. Very interesting title.
This is a very interesting title, and this is the author's first book, and I was extraordinarily impressed with the ability and the craft of this author. And this is about an American Chinese family. Father is American, mother is Chinese, first generation young girl, and it begins the fact that this 16-year-old is dead. And this takes us all the way through the expectations of family, the vicarious living of parents through their children, and not everything that you see is really what you see. And so she takes...
Pretty appropriate theme given the time of the year, right?
Exactly.
I mean, the holidays, family,
it is
family is a good thing and family is a bad thing, right?
I know. We all found that out at Christmas and Thanksgiving, right? So, and as we uncover this story, it becomes more and more beautiful and more real. And I think people are going to love it. They're going to love discovering this new author. And I'm sure we'll all be watching her work. And first book on the New York Times list. That's pretty darn good.
And number three on the fiction list, we have Somewhere Safe with Somebody Good.
Yes, by Jen Karen. This is a little mystery. Well, it's about a little town, and it's about ordinary people and how ordinary people can be great stories. And I was really glad to see this on the list because how many times you learn about a priest, you learn about a hairdresser, you learn about a bookstore owner, and they're just doing normal things that are interesting and make great fodder for a story. So, Milton Town, we love it. Please keep coming back. It is a series, so, that's great for the reader.
All right, on to nonfiction. The Innovators, How a Group of Hackers, Geniuses, and Geeks did what?
How they revolutionized the entire technology. But this is what I loved about Isaacson. Of course, he's a biographer for Steve Jobs. And he's saying it's not so much a revolution. It's a little building block. So you remember like in 1897 when we had the abacus? Well, the abacus was sort of a computer, wasn't it? And then back in the 70s, we had those big machines that filled up a room. So what he's saying is that these innovators have certainly brought things to scale, but they have been using the building blocks of time and of other people's discovery to bring us this technology that has become so useful to us
Speaking
today.
of time, we're going to move it along a little bit. The Andy Cohen Diaries. Andy Cohen, who is the host of those popular Housewives series.
I know, and I have to tell you, Gary, I didn't know who he was until I read the book. I shouldn't say that, right? I shouldn't say that.
I don't believe you.
And I'm telling you, I had no idea, honestly, who he was until I read this, and a quite impressive young man. And but if you like navel gazing, this is the kind of book you want. It's a diary that he kept for a year. He's very much into celebrities and the minutiae of celebrities, and he loves his dog. So if you love dogs and you love navel gazing at celebrity, this is the book for you.
And top number one here on your list anyway. Yes, Please by NBC star Amy Poehler.
Yes, yes, please. It's number 3 on the list. Somebody's keeping it on that list because it's really pretty darn funny. And it's supposed to be a memoir, but it's sort of gender bending because other people have written chapters in the book, which is was like, wow, this is really interesting and cool. But what do you expect from somebody? She keeps it live. She's a wonderful, wonderful artist, and she gets really real. So, she tells you about her kids, about the failure of her marriage, to growing up. Some great advice and some very, very funny stories.
Okay, I know last year, this time you were working on something. Is anything that we need to look forward to this year?
Yes, you will be looking forward to my own book, I am sure, in the fall.
Oh, in the fall.
I'm very excited about that.
Very exciting.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, as always, Marva Allen.
Thank you.